Hi everybody, it's Mike here from TwoDads UK. Thank you for joining us again. We have another episode today in our COVID-19 support series. This particular episode is a little bit different in the sense that whilst we're talking to somebody from the fertility industry, we're talking about a subject which is close and relatable to all of us, and that's wellness. So I'm delighted to be talking today to a lady called Marna Marx from Herts and Essex Fertility Centre. So Marna has worked within corporate finance, medtech, health and education industries, and she joined Herts and Essex back in June 2019. As an experienced marketing manager for the group, she's highly skilled in marketing, client relations, and campaigns, communications, and innovations, etc. And particularly partnerships with all of the industry bodies, so certainly very well connected within this fertility world that we're all in. Marna has experience with business to business and business to customer marketing, and with a real focus on marketing within the fertility industry. So I'm delighted to be joined by Marna this afternoon. So hi, how are you?
I'm good, Mike. How are you? Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
To be here.
You're more than welcome. I'm delighted that you're here with us and talking about a topic which is important to all of us, really. And so let's kick off really by just telling us a little bit about your role at Herts and Essex Fertility Centre.
So I'm responsible for the marketing at Herts and Essex, but I also run the wellness program alongside one of our nurses and wellness officer, Christina. And then we are headed up by our head of clinical director, Debbie Evans. So it's a team effort really. And although it's the three of us who run the program, we have said to the team, we really want this to be a team effort. So if anyone would like to contribute in whichever way, they should do that. Because the more we get involved, the more we'll get out of it. So we rolled out our Wellness at Herts emotional support program in January. It's initially just for staff, but the idea is to roll it out to patients as well, because the fertility journey, just like working in a fertility clinic, is very emotional. It's an emotional roller coaster with lots of ups and downs. So in addition to looking after our patients' physical side, we also want to take care of their emotional side. And therefore, we rolled out this program. It's a 12-month program with one topic per month. And there's a lot of information that you'll see that we will cover that can be shared with both staff and patients. And the idea is to focus on one topic a month so that you can really learn as much as possible about this one topic and make it part of your life and your fertility journey, or your life, working as a nurse or a doctor at a fertility clinic. So that's it in a nutshell.
Wow. Amazing. So I can totally see how and why that's needed for staff, being someone that not only has gone through fertility treatment ourselves, but also recruits for the fertility industry. When I speak to embryologists or fertility nurses, they often tell me that they share some of the stresses and strains of a fertility journey because of the close working they have with their patients. So I can definitely see why wellness and that whole mental well-being needs to be looked after for staff.
Yeah, no, it's very important.
What was one of the I think, how would you, if we're looking at another way of looking at then, how would you advise patients or the public to sort of take care of their mental health whilst experiencing this level of uncertainty?
Well, I would say our program, I'm going to go back to our program because we have got 12 different topics over the year. I think all of those topics can help people in this very difficult time. So one of our topics is focus, for example. So if you think about the COVID-19 and lockdown time where we are at the moment, if you just focus on the negative things, it can really spiral down and just get you into a dark hole where you just feel, oh my goodness, how am I ever going to get out of this? How are we going to survive it? You can get really down and depressed and anxious about the future and finances and, not even to talk about your fertility. So it is very important to think what you are focusing on. If you're focusing on positive things, that can once again help you to uplift your spirit. It can help you to, move away from the negative, more towards the positive things. So if you just focus on what you can be grateful for, so that is gratitude, which is another topic we will be focusing on. There's so much to be grateful for every single day. If we just focus on that or look at it or think about it in a different way. So to really have a mind of gratitude and thinking about the things we can be thankful for. Breathing is extremely important. So if you start to feel a little bit anxious or nervous, just take a moment and just sit down and breathe. Literally 3 deep breaths, slow deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth, can really calm you down. If you do that 3 times or 10 times a day, it will really help you to calm down and just think about things a little bit more rationally, not get swept up about all the doom and gloom that's going on in the world at the moment. And the month of April, where we are now, is actually our focus for the month is to have a positive mental attitude. So if you think that you can just change your entire world by having a positive mental attitude, that can really help you in your everyday life. So as soon as you realize, I've got another negative thought, I've got another worry, I've got another anxious feeling, immediately stop yourself and say, okay, is that a positive mental attitude that I'm practicing there? And if it's not, then you can do your breathing, maybe take yourself out of the situation, go into the garden, listen to the birds, and that brings in mindfulness again. Mindfulness is really just about being present in the moment. And the important thing about mindfulness is being present in the moment, whether it's good or bad. So it's to accept our circumstances, whether it's good or bad, and just think, okay, well, this is where we are now. By feeling nervous or angry or furious or fearful, anxious, depressed about this is not really going to help. So rather think how I can sway this and turn it into a positive thing. So if people can, I think, plan their day, it's very important to have some sort of a structure. It's easy just to have a pajama day and stay in your PJs all day, and that's also fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. We all do that. But if you can plan your day and say, right, today I'm going to get up, have a shower, brush my teeth, wash my hair, be clean for a change, and then go for a walk or go into the garden and do some gardening or bake or plant or, cook something. I like to think about it as input and output. So input is when we just sit on the couch and we just get input. So you're watching TV, you're reading perhaps. Reading is good, but input is all going into you. It's making you a richer person, a wiser person, or maybe not, depending on what you're watching. But output is what we are actually doing with all that information we've got inside of ourselves, with everything you've learned, with everything you've put inside of yourself. What are you doing with that? Are you helping your neighbors? Are you helping other people? We have a nurse at our clinic, just an amazing nurse. I'm going to give her a shout out, Sarah Babington. She's been cooking at home meals after meals for the ICU staff at the Princess Alexandra Hospital.
Wow.
And she's been, instead of just sitting at home, not being able to do her usual job at the fertility clinic, she's been cooking and prepping meals to deliver to the ITU unit, just so that the staff there can get a hot meal. Because we've all seen on television how they are masked up. They can't go out and have food. So it's about what you are doing. What are you doing for your neighbors or old people on your street? So I think communication is absolutely key, especially for people who live alone. You can get very isolated, but I think it's key not to cut yourself off from society. Don't cut yourself off from your friends and family. Make phone calls, or just reach out, send a message to someone if you're lonely, so they can call you, or have a Zoom call, a WhatsApp call, a Sky call. There's so much.
And I think technology is playing a major part in what we're all going through at the moment. The fact that you and I are doing this, which is new to both of us. A previous episode that we recorded was with a guy and friend called Leon Taylor, who was looking at, mindfulness and sort of relaxation and distraction techniques as well. Again, all very important, and something which, my family has a WhatsApp group, and it's all about reminding everybody about, what should we do different today? What should we have as a distraction today? Because we can get bored and tired of doing, I'm going to clean again, or I'm going to just sit in my pajamas today. It's about, like you said, being in the here and now and focusing on whether it's a little task every day, whether it's baking or planting or doing something. It's a real positive distraction.
Absolutely.
Are there any particular triggers or things to spot if someone isn't coping particularly well? Could you advise on anything that we may all need to look out for?
I think if people start to feel more down or depressed or more anxious, that is obviously a very good sign that you are perhaps spiraling downwards, and it's time to take some action and reach out to someone who can help you, whether it is online counseling, whether it's listening to podcasts, whether it's reading a book on, there's lots of stuff out there on self-help, and just listening maybe to some TED Talks or, podcasts. If we are just sitting alone at home, all you've got all day long is just your own mind. So your thoughts keep on going round and round in a circle. So sometimes we really need to break state and get something or someone else to help us to turn that around. So whether it's to speak to someone or to listen to music, I think music is an amazing thing to change our state. It's almost impossible to listen to good, nice, healthy or happy music and still feel the same way. So think about how you're feeling. I think self-care is extremely important, and normally that is something that goes down if people are feeling down, and so it's about just the usual things like staying clean, getting up, getting dressed, not staying in bed all day,
staying active, staying present, just being.
Yes, absolutely. So I think ask yourself that question: am I taking good care of myself, or am I neglecting myself? Are you still eating healthy meals, or are you, if your appetite has gone down, that might be a sign. I think if people start to drink more than usual, that's a sign. Or of course, if people take drugs or painkillers, things like that, that gets out of hand, that can be a sign. And of course, if people have suicidal thoughts, anything like that, I think those are all signs. And it normally starts with small signs, and it gets bigger. So the quicker we can stop that, the better.
Absolutely.
So reach out to us, reach out to online counseling or Mind. There's so many websites, and
we'll reference as many of those that we can in the comments. So we'll certainly put some of the responsible people at Herts and Essex. So before we close, then we've probably got 40 seconds to go.
Right.
This has been great. So tell me any top tips that you may have for anyone watching.
Right. I would say, number 1, focus on positive things. Number 2, stay active. Number 3, do something new every day.
Yeah. I love that. And that's so true.
Yeah.
Marna, you have been a joy. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for all of your little snippets and tips. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.